name is Kevin. So today I'm going to show you something really cool, that facts about cars. Well, you have to come over here first. So you can see this tire, right? You see it's very hard. So I have to get this camera close to somewhere. Well, I have to get this camera, and you see there? See that? That is a strut. You can see those dirt like that. You can just leave it there, but if you see rust bad like that, so you maybe have to replace it. I will do a video about that soon. These things are almost rusted out. Oh, I want to show you something really cool. See this brake line? That is from these brakes. I'm gonna touch these because these are cool. I don't feel any glue, so these are good. So, but if you come to the front, well, it's a little bit different compared. If you come over here, you see a different strut. The rear struts are just a piece of damper, but this strut has a spring on it, so it's a mechanical one. And you may be realizing the brakes from the back, like these brake pads, are from the back, but instead from the back, they're in the front. That's because engineering, because they don't want to put it right behind it like the heat shield, whereas that's because they don't want to overheat it and damage it, because they want it to be in the opposite direction. So if you put these brake pads in the front, it will give you more braking power. And if you come to this side from the drivers, well, you will see a different kind. So you see the strut like exact same like before, right? Wow. Well, this is a different. Well, this also has the brake pads and the brake shield in the front. And the reason being is, in the front, the brake pads are in the front. In the rear, the brake pads in the rear. And that's because if you put the brake pads in the front of the brake pad, in the brake rotors, you will get more braking power. And you come to the rear, you see the caliper is mounted behind it. And that's the reason. That's because the axle is, so engineers thought it will be good to put the brake calipers in the back. That's because there's a brake shield here, and they don't want to mount this in the front, like in the front you just saw. So engineering thought it's mounted right here, so you'll get more braking power in the rear, more braking power in the front. Well, if you come to our motorcycle, which is right here, come here, you will see there. These are our motorcycles. It's called air blade, so this coilover. So if you see that, this is called a coilover. It's different from our car, and that's because in the car they don't have coilovers. Coilovers are usually installed in sports cars. Regular cars put struts, and also this is air blade. This makes 180 horsepower, and these are coilovers. They're in good condition, so we don't need to change them anyway. Well, you come close to here when the coilover mounts, you see that. Well, it's kind of like a quarter axle, but actually, if you come to the other side, it has a rear trailing arm, and in front of the rear trailing arm is this right here. This is the cooling port for the brakes, because you have to keep the brakes cool in order to function properly. So if you come to the car, by the way, you'll see a different mechanism. It's just my language. So if you come over here in the rear brake house, in the rear brakes, I showed you what's this, right? This is the brake hose, and actually this is for the coolant brake hose. That's because you have to transfer them to the brakes. This also sends control here as well. And coolant, like, I'm gonna split this in half, and then you see coolant's at the top and brake control is at the bottom, because you have to keep the brakes cool to function properly. But if you come to the front, you will see a difference. And if you look over here, there's no brake hose, and that's because the brakes and the brake hose and the coolant lines are all the way in the hood. So I have to open the hood, so I have to go to the driver's side, but the door is slightly jammed, so I couldn't do it. But when I close the hood, I'm gonna close this. I don't know how to reach it, well, because I'm small. So and that just helped me, and that's it. So, oh, and I have to mention one more thing. Here, can you come over to this Ford? Well, in this Ford, you can see I'm gonna just touch this. This is smooth, but actually, you can see 5 look, right? But if you come over to this Toyota, this is a 4-look conversion, and that's because Toyota versions versus every single car conversion, like this CX-5 Mazda CX-5, it has a 5-lock conversion, and that's because if you have a 5-lock conversion, it would change the look of the style. And I thought I'm gonna pay the owner and then replace this 4-lock conversion to a 5-lock conversion to make it more conventional, you may guess. Okay, the video is gonna end here now. See you soon. Stay tuned. So make sure to like the video and subscribe and ring the notification bell if you think this video is helpful. Stay tuned for the other videos. Peace out.